My PCGS order has arrived. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure and welcome back to my channel. I have my PCGS order in this box in front of me. Just came in today and yeah, it's time to get into it. Now before I get into the box, I wanted to show you what is in the box. None of this stuff is extremely valuable unless we got higher grades, but I do have the 61D over horizontal D FS501 Lincoln cent. I only have a $65 value on that one, not expecting too high of a grade. I've got a 37D Buffalo Nickel. I already have a 37D Buffalo Nickel 3-legged variety, but I wanted a mid-state one, so I submitted one. Again, not much declared value. We've got a couple of Type B proof reverse quarters. One I thought was really nice, the 1958. You can see I declared the value a lot higher on that one. The other one's just for my set. A couple of 48D full bell line Benjis. I think they're pretty good, but I didn't declare them too high because maybe not higher than 63. If we're lucky, maybe something higher. And then I have a bunch of Morgan dollars that are fairly common, but I don't have these slabbed and graded for my set registry. And so finally, after several years of putting together the best raw ones, I just decided to submit all of them. Most of them are going to be in that MS 62 to 65 range, and that's what I insured them at. So not a lot of high dollar value stuff in this box. Mostly going to be stuff for my personal collection. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this cardboard box and get the PCGS, whatever color box, probably silver this time, exposed in just a second. All right, just got the box out, took the tape off. I got a little residue here, but surprised it's another black box. Thought we might get another silver one, but I'll still take another black box. I have most of my PCGS stuff in either these ones or the gold ones. So I've already pulled the invoice out because the front is on this side, and I already pulled the invoice out, so it's ready to go. I have my sheet up here. We'll go in reverse order so we don't see the grades right away. So obviously in reverse order, we'll start with the Morgan dollars first. Let me get all this set up. I'll be back in just a second, and let's see what kind of grades I got and what kind of grades I can add to my sets and my registries. All right, we've got the box open. All of the grades are facing away from me, so that's good. I went ahead and took what I insured all of these coins for to get you the grade that I assumed they were. I'll give you an example on the first coin we're going to do, which is the last coin on the submission. The 1904 Morgan dollar, I insured it for $260, which means I thought it was going to get an MS62. When I go to PCGS's website and I bring up the 1904 Morgan dollar and I bring up the value of $260, that's under a 62. Now, obviously, I submitted these coins under the economy service, which means it's a $300 max value per coin. That being said, if the coin does get a higher grade, PCGS will still encapsulate it, will still grade it, give me the images and everything, but I might have to pay a little extra in grading fees for the higher level service. So if you noticed here, any of the coins, I made sure they were under $300 in value. So even if I thought they were an MS66, for example, and it exceeds that, I didn't want to put that down. I left it up to the graders to tell me whether or not it was. That way I could submit it for the economy service. Hopefully that makes sense. Just wanted to give you guys a little background here. And as we go through the coins, obviously we'll see what I thought they graded versus what they got. If I was spot on, if I was below, or if I thought the coins were better than they should have been, or if we have any cleaned or ungradable coins in there. Now that we've talked about all that, it's time to start looking at the grades and see how we did. All right, as stated, the first coin up will be the 1904 Morgan dollar. I had it slated as an MS62. If I recall, I had it as a 62 because it does show a little bit of, I don't know, dinginess or discoloration, and some of the strike is not as nice as would be on a Mint State 63 or even a Gem BU. We got a straight grade because there's nothing on the back that says it wasn't a straight grade. Let's see the grade that we got. And we got exactly as expected. MS62, that's what I insured it for, and that's what I got. You know, sometimes I always wonder if it would have got a 63 if I would have submitted it for a 63, but Either way, I had a feeling this one was not going to be a 63. Still a nice coin. And 1904 is a tougher date year. And MS62, as insured, is still a $260 PCGS value as far as what they think it's worth. Obviously, when we go back to that screen up here, it's selling for more like $170 to $200 on average. Of course, those sales were earlier in the year. Either way, I'll take it. I'll add that to my set registry. It's not a bad start. We got what we were expecting on that coin. The second coin is going to be a 1902, and I had it down as an MS63, or at least I insured it as such. So let's take a look and see how we did. A little bit nicer of a coin. Again, not as gemmy as some of the higher grade ones I've sent in the past, but it's got a full strike. It's got good mint luster. The reverse looks good. We definitely got a grade. Let's see how we did on this one. And we got exactly what we thought. MS63, definitely a nicer coin overall. A good strike, good mint luster, not a lot of chatter. This was a candidate that could have been maybe a 64, but they're tougher on the O2s. And yeah, MS63 is not a bad grade whatsoever. Definitely will add it to my registry, and I'm happy with the second one of the submission. The third coin should be the 19010, and based on what I insured it for, I thought it was an MS65. You can see now we're starting to get into that more of that brilliant uncirculated look. There is a couple of chatter marks on the reverse, and I was aware of those, which is why I didn't think it deserved a 66, but definitely thought it might be a 65 or at least a 64. Let's see what I got on it. Hopefully we got the 65 we insured it for. And we did not. We got the 64. Again, take a look at this coin. Not a lot of marks. There is some heavy chatter just on the cheek, but the fields were relatively clean, and I really thought this one had a good shot at a 65. They only thought it was a 64 though, and you know what? Probably the most fair grade because there is some heavy chattering on her cheek, and you got to be realistic, I guess, at times. But overall, a really nice coin, and I guess net, maybe the back was a 63 and the front was a 65, and they thought 64 is probably the best way to put it. Still a beautiful coin, a full strike, great luster. Beautiful, beautiful. Man, I'm really happy with this coin overall, and a 64 is nothing to get too mad about either. Wish we'd have got a 65, but you got to take what you can get, and it's our first miss of the submission, although not by much. The next coin up is the 1900S, and I was actually in between on this one. AU55, when I bring up the sheet, is worth $265. I actually insured it for a grade higher at $300, which would be the 55 plus, because the 58 put me over the service level fee, but I still thought it was better than 55, but I didn't think it was going to get a mint state. So that being said, I put AU55 as my grade because technically AU58 puts it over the $300 that I insured it for. Let's see if I got an AU55 or better. Definitely a nice looking coin. It does have almost full mint luster. There's a little bit of a break in the luster. The strike on the Eagle's breast feathers does look like it has been slightly circulated, which is why I considered it being an AU. But man, it's still a nice coin overall and a valuable coin, especially in the mint state grades. Let's see if I got mint state, or let's see if I at least beat my AU55. And we did. AU58, definitely a slider. Like I said, it is one of those coins that looks like it was just slightly circulated, but in really nice shape nonetheless. It still has all of its mint luster, or most of the mint luster on the coin, and most of the strike is there. Just a little bit of wear on the high points by the ear and the curl around the ear, as well as on the breast feathers. AU58 is a win. I'll take that all day. Matter of fact, we might have gotten a service fee adjustment on this one, but we'll have to see. AU58, according to them, is $435, but it's been selling near that $300 range, so maybe they'll give me a pass on that one. That's a good grade. Definitely take it. Would have been nice to get a mint state, but realistically, that's about where I thought it was when I submitted it. The next coin up is the 1900, and I put down MS65. And for clarity here, I had to put an MS65 because you can get all the way up to MS65 before you exceed $300. And you can see the price jump from 64 to 65, it almost doubles. So I wasn't going to insure it for 64, even though I know it's a nice coin. Definitely in that 64, 65 range, in my opinion. We put MS65 on the sheet. How did we do on the grade? We definitely have a grade. Very nice looking coin. Not as brilliant uncirculated as some of the gemmy white blast white ones look like, but toning is okay, especially on an uncirculated coin. How did we do? MS64. So definitely in that in-between, and because the price jumped for MS65, I'm sure they wanted to make sure it was definitely going to be an MS65 if it would have got that grade. It didn't get the grade, just a little bit of chatter in the fields and a little bit on the cheek, but not that much, and I think 64 is probably a fair grade. Again, I know I insured it for a 65, but we had some wiggle room there, and I might as well pay at least the grade at or higher if I can insure it for under the economy service total value, and that's what we did. 1900 MS64, I'll take it. It's a beautiful coin, another one for the registry, and that should improve my registry score because we definitely don't have as many 64s as we would like. The next coin is going to be the 1891S. Again, another slider for me. I insured it at $300, thought it was an MS63. I brought up the PCGS price guide, and MS63 has recently gone up in value, and it's at $360 now. So I thoroughly expected this coin to probably get an adjustment because even if it got a 63, we were over the service level, but I included it just in case they gave me a lesser grade. I'll tell you right now, I insured it at 63, but I knew it was at least a 63, and I know many of you are going to look at it and go, Rob, that coin has some crazy ugly toning. It does, but the graders will look past that and see what the coin actually looks like, and it's definitely got full luster, a full strike, and there's not a lot of chatter on this coin. Let's flip it around and take a look at the better looking obverse. Look at that coin. Absolutely beautiful, and take a look at that grade, MS64, holy cow. The MS64 is a great grade, and this is why I submitted it. Got great toning, almost no chatter on this coin whatsoever. Had this reverse not looked so terrible, I probably would even got a 65 on this coin, but that back is pretty ugly. But that is a fantastic looking original toning, original mint luster, beautiful strike, 1891. We'll definitely take that, and again, that's the holdup. I bet you they thought this was a 65 or a 66 obverse, and then they just dinged me because of the back, which I can't blame them for. I knew it wouldn't look good on the back. But either way, MS64 is a great grade, and honestly, MS64 on this coin is $725 PCGS value, and they're selling for a lot of money. So I'm almost 99% sure I had an adjustment service fee on this coin for sure. That's a nice grade. I will take that. They didn't ding me too bad for that ugly reverse. Gotta love it. That's a win for sure. Next up on the sheet is another 1891, this time Philadelphia. MS63, $300 in insured value, and I already brought it up for you guys. $275 for the 63, only $160 and less. So obviously another one just like the last one. It jumps up when you get past 62, and then it jumps a big amount if you can get a 64. Typically, it looks like most are grading in the 63 range, with the second most being 62 and some 64s and higher. Hopefully, I get the MS63 I'm looking for. I'll take an MS64 again, though, if we can get it. Let's take a quick peek and see what we got. 1891, definitely a beautiful reverse in my opinion. I don't recall if this one had any problems. I think that's why I gave it a 63. So let's go ahead and see what kind of grade we got on it. We got a 62. And I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. You can see it right now. There's a couple of heavy, almost scratches. They're more like slide marks, but that's a pretty deep slide mark or scratch on her cheek. And it does have some chatter in the field. But if you look at the strike, it's a nice strike, and there's not a lot of problems on this coin. I remember it now. I really thought it might get a 64, but I thought that scratch would keep it from getting a 64, and that's why I put it down as a 63. And I guess they felt otherwise. They felt like it was a 63, and that scratch or that heavier slide mark gives it a 62. That's a bummer. That's a nice coin. MS62, I don't know if that's going to do anything for my registry. A couple of these coins I was supposed to get or at least try to get better grades on ones I have in my registry, but I didn't write that down on the sheet, and I don't recall at this point. But either way, 62 is kind of a bummer. That's a letdown for sure, and I think it's still a nicer coin than a 62 personally. Either way, we've had some wins. We got to take some hits, and that's just how it goes. After the 1891 Philly, we have an 1888 O, and I have it down as MS64, $300 value. Let me bring up PCGS and see what MS65 goes for and see if that's why I capped it at 300. All right, I got it up, and I know what I did here. 65, MS65 is 360, MS64 is 185, and 63 is 125, both under $300. So I knew it wouldn't be higher than a 64, so I just insured it for $300 to cover from 64 back. I don't recall if I actually thought it was a 64. I just insured it as a 64. Based on this reverse, that definitely looks like it could be a 64, because even though it's New Orleans minted, it definitely has a decent strike on the breast feathers of the eagle. Either the obverse is not as nice as I thought, or this should be a 64 for sure. Let's take a peek. MS63. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we got some heavy chatter right there on the cheek. But man, what a beautiful minted New Orleans silver dollar. I think they netted it out. I think they probably thought it was a 64, and with that slide mark in the field in front of her face and on her cheek, they dinged it down a grade, so gave me a 63 instead of a 62, of course. So we'll take it. It's a little bit under what I wanted, but probably the fairest grade for this coin. The back is a beauty, but the front does have a couple of imperfections. Still a good coin, still a good grade. We'll add it to the registry. And then finally, the last Morgan silver dollar is the 1887-0, and I thought I would get an MS63 for $285 is the insured value. That's probably a 63 grade straight up on the price, so don't even need to bring up PCGS on this one. Let's see what I got. Absolutely nice reverse, another New Orleans minted silver dollar, and definitely has good strike details on the breast feathers. Looks pretty good from the back. How do we do on the grade on the front? Another MS63. Oh, and another one with the slide mark. Yeah, you know, it's tough. When they minted these Morgan dollars, they came off the mint and right into these mint bags, and they slid around in transit, and they slid around in the bag, and you're going to have some of those slide marks. So probably another fair grade, 1887-0, MS63. That's what I had it down as. That's what we got. We'll take it. Probably a nice addition to my registry nonetheless. That concludes the Morgan silver dollars on the order. And now we're going to move into a couple of Ben Franklin half dollars. I've got two here on line number 5. So it's 14 line items, 15 coins. These are a couple of beautiful 1948 Denver minted, full bell lines in my opinion, Ben Franklin half dollars. And I graded them myself personally at MS65 and ×2. And I already brought up the Ben Franklin half dollars. I got to bring up the 1948 Denver right here and full bell lines. So we bring up the 48D with full bell lines. And if you look at the pricing here, let's see, 65, there we go. MS65 is 130 a Benji. Now they sell for a little bit less than that, of course, but 130 ×2 is 260. And that's what I've got there. So I thought for sure these were full bell lines and at least MS65. I'll tell you, I did do a short showing how to use MS70 on one of them. So one of them is in original condition, and one of them was MS70'd. If you want to check out that short, I'll put it up here for you to see it. That being said, let's go ahead and see if we got straight grades on them both. We did. So we definitely got straight grades on them both. This is the second one, and if I recall, based on the order, this would be the one I had done for the shorts video about using MS70. Let's take a look at the reverse first. What an absolute beautiful Ben Franklin half dollar right here. Definitely has full bell lines in my opinion. I submitted it with it, still needs to get it. 1948 Denver, did we get full bell lines and MS65? We did. 1948 Denver, PCGS MS65, full bell lines. I'll take it. That is a good grade. Hopefully, we at least got a 65 on the original one, the better of the two, because it, once again, definitely has the full bell lines. As you can see, this is a no-doubter. And if I recall, this one's a little bit lighter than the last one. Let's take a peek. They're the same ones. Look at that. Look at that. MS66. Holy cow. MS66. What does that go? $450. Selling for about $250 to $300 lately. Wow. Well, we're definitely going to get a service fee on this one, because that's definitely over the $300 value that we priced it at, but I will take that. It's almost nearly flawless. He did have a little ding on his cheek. I think you can see it if I move it around a little bit. But MS66 full bell lines. What's the top pop? How many are graded higher than this one? We have 60, 78. 78 graded higher, and technically only one at 66 plus and 17 at 67. And some of these might be regrades. So technically only 70 to 75 Benjis graded higher than this one. And yeah, what a stunner. 66. Unbelievable. We'll definitely take that. That's the 2 Ben Franklin half dollars we had on here. Now we've got a couple of type B reverse quarters. Again, one I only insured for 50 bucks because I just needed to fill my type B set that I'm putting together for the quarters from 1956 to 1964. And then the really nice one I thought was a 66 was the 1958. Let's just go ahead and keep going. 1960. Not much to talk about here. It's got the type B reverse. That means they accidentally used the proof reverse die on this coin that was used for the proof coins. And I have videos on this. But either way, it's a nice coin. It's not a absolute stunner. I only had it down to 64. And we didn't even get a 64. We got a 63. Probably a fair grade. But either way, we'll take that. Type B reverse, FS901, MS63 on that quarter. We'll put it down here. And then did I get my 66? Please tell me I did. Look at this absolutely stunning 1958 Type B proof reverse. The 58 and the 56 are the 2 tough ones, the ones that are worth the most. We don't have a 56 yet. I still need to find one. But this 58 is a beauty. How did we do? 65. Well, you know what? I'll take it. That's a great grade. Unfortunately, the difference between a 65 and a 66 is pretty substantial. I mean, if you figure a 64 is 50 bucks and a 66 is 240, this is probably in that 125 range. I don't have it brought up and we don't need to bring it up for a quarter, but still, I'll take it. MS65, that'll improve my quarter registry as well. All right, we only have a couple of coins left. One is a Buffalo nickel that I'm trying to improve on. I have an MS62 in my registry, so I need a 62 on that one. And then I have a variety on a penny that I want to bring up. Oh my goodness, but look at the Buffalo nickel. Look at the Buffalo nickel. Genuine, not gradable. Genuine, not gradable. You know, are they going to say it's clean? Because now that I'm looking at it through the plastic, it does kind of have a little bit of a sheen to it, a little bit. Yep. Cleaned AU detail. You know, I only looked at the obverse, and I don't see cleaning on the obverse. But when I look at the reverse through the plastic, it doesn't look like it's original on the front hind leg and on the horn a little bit. Oh, well, that's kind of a bummer. 37D, you know, it wouldn't be a PCGS submission video for me if I didn't get a clean one once in a while. And we've got a couple in a row without a clean coin. And we were due. Well, that's a waste. We wasted money on that one big time. It's a nice looking coin, but between what I paid to get it graded and for the nickel, it's definitely not going to make its value at all. Last one up is that Variety 1961 Denver cent. This is the D over horizontal D, and I'll probably put it under the scope for you guys because it's a nice one to look at. We're just going to finish up this video. MS64 red. I thought an MS65 red, so I was one off on here, but we'll take it. D over horizontal D. Let me get it under my scope really quick, and I'll show you the D over horizontal D. All right, well, here you go. Pretty obvious one. 1961 Denver. And if you look, there's another Denver mint mark laying on its hump, if you will, facing up, kind of like a turtle. So it's basically a D over horizontal D. Really nice coin. I don't know why I got a 64. Let me bring up PCGS's population to see how many more are graded higher than this and see if there's a lot less than maybe I thought or a lot more than I thought. All right. The majority of them are grading out at MS64, which is what I got. They're tougher to give out 65s, only 94 of them. and even tougher on the top pop, only 8 at 66. So that's probably why I got a 64. It just didn't have as much niceness as it needed to get to that next really top pop area to give the 95th one an MS65. Either way, the book value is $38 on it, which is kind of a bummer. That's about what I paid for variety and slabbing. But as you can see here, they don't sell for $38. They sell for much more than that. And that's pretty much the justification. I need it for my variety sets. And yeah, $38 is break even. I think I paid $10 for the coin. So I'm in it for $48. I think I would get easily that back based on recent sales overall. But I wouldn't sell it because it's the only one I got. Man, kind of a bummer here in the end. Didn't get the 65. This one has really thrown me off because I probably should have noticed it. But, you know, we spent $28 to grade a nickel, and it's not even worth $10. So that's a bummer. The 58, yeah, it would have been nice to get a 66, but that's a good grade. That's a decent grade. It's one off. Overall, we got a really nice surprise here, and we got a 1891S surprise. I'm going to check my invoice really quick before I sign off here and see if I had these two probably cost me some extra dollars. Let me just take a quick peek. All right, we've got my invoice here, and as expected, the full bell lines MS66, they charged me an extra $10 because the value exceeded the $300. And then on the, what is it, 1891S, yeah, $725 value on that coin. So they charged me $10 extra on that one as well. So it just goes to show you, even if you submit it under the wrong service level or it gets a higher grade than you think, you're still going to get taken care of, so to speak. They'll just charge you the extra bit of money for you not paying as much upfront as maybe you should have. Either way, like I said, nothing here extremely valuable. I mean, yeah, $450 for this Benji and $725 for that one when I thought none of the coins here really were over $300 in general. I'll take it. We had some losses down here, but again, they're for my registry. All this is for my registry. And I'm just happy that you guys have hung out with me this long for this long of a video. I tried something different this time. I tried to talk about the coins in between and before showing them. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. If it's something you'd like me to do, I'll do it again in the future. If you just want me to cut to the coins and show the grades, I can do that as well. Leave that comment down below so I know how to film the next PCGS unboxing video. If you did enjoy this one, I certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, happy collecting, and thanks for watching.